Well, good news. That's the last of the 5 games in 7 days. Bad news is we lost the last 4 of them. Yeah.
Woohoo! We are in so weak. Yes. Can't get any better.
Hello, welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 27 in the books for the Blackhawks. The Hawks lose this one by a score of 3-1 at home against the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings coming into this game leading their division and riding a 4-game win streak. Meanwhile, the Hawks on a bit of a slump, losing their last 3. Both streaks would continue with the result in this game. For the most part, you could tell that this was the 5th game in 7 days for the Blackhawks and their 2nd game of a back-to-back as well. 2nd game within 24 hours. They looked tired for the most part, but honestly, even though they only got 3 shots in this first period, they had some really good chances and could have easily come away with the victory in this game. Getting 1 shot in the first 10 minutes of the first period and then only getting 3 shots total when you have 3 power plays in that frame, that's just not going to get it done. That's pretty much unacceptable. But if you look at, you could say the Hawks had the better of the chances in the first period. Forsberg did have to make some key saves, but late in the period, Kane Schmaltz on a 2-on-1. Kane, nice pass over to Schmaltz, wide open net, and he just straight up misses it. And then right at the end of the period, DeBrincat with an open net basically, and cannot bury it either. That's 2 goals the Hawks could have had. They could have been up 2-0 at the first intermission. The Kings only had 7 shots, so it's not like the Kings really dominated the Hawks in this period. The Hawks just didn't capitalize on their chances, and they didn't really create a whole lot of chances to begin with. But it really could have been much better for the Hawks. The second period for the Hawks would be much, much better. They essentially increased their shot total by 5-fold in this one. They had 15 shots in the middle frame. They had some really, really great chances. Quick made some fantastic saves. Franzen hit a post. It went off Saad's skate. If that skate is angled just a little bit more, that's in the back of the net. No puck luck there. Taves with a great chance point blank. Couldn't get it past Quick. Seabrook with a beautiful tip point blank that Quick made the save of. With the chances the Hawks had in the first 2 periods, even though the Hawks only had 3 shots in the first period, the glorious chances they've had, this could be a 3-4 goal lead for the Hawks right now. But nothing goes. And Forsberg just is not getting the offensive production that he deserves. He made some great saves as well, stoning cold the Kings through 2 periods. He's stepped in great, filled the shoes of Darling quite well so far. He's just been unlucky with the lack of Hawks scoring. Forsberg has stopped 54 out of 57 shots in these past 2 games. And he's lost both games. That's a 94.7 save percentage. That's unreal. And he's lost both games. What do you expect him to do? You can't expect any more out of him, especially from a backup goaltender. He's been fantastic. And he had to be fantastic early in this 3rd period because it was a bit of a return to form for the Hawks. Sharp right away, turnover at his own blue line. Gaborik basically walking in, and Forsberg robs him with a glove save to keep this one scoreless. And the Hawks just can't take advantage of it. And it would end up catching up to the Hawks as midway through the 3rd period, Folin would take a wrist shot from the point, screen in front of Forsberg, taking away his eyes. He never saw it. Puck gets by him and into the back of the net, and the Kings take the 1-0 lead late in this game. Coach Q would pull Forsberg, try to get that extra skater out there because the Hawks are having enough trouble just scoring with 5 players. A little over 2 minutes left in this one, but Dustin Brown takes advantage of that empty net and scores and puts the Kings up 2-0. Shortly after that, the Hawks goalie still pulled, win an offensive zone faceoff, and puck finds Taves, and he snipes it by Quick. Quick never saw it. Good traffic in front there, and the Hawks seem to possibly have life again. But another empty net would be buried by Kopitar, and the Kings would end up finishing this one off by a score of 3-1. So the Hawks finished the 5 games in 7 days with 4 straight losses, 2 in regulation, 2 in overtime. Well, 1 in 3-on-3 and 1 in a shootout. 3 losses to divisional opponents. Just a very tough stretch for the Hawks. Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think they played as bad as that record is. They just didn't do enough. They didn't get the bounces they needed and just couldn't capitalize on their chances. Overall, I can't say I'm too displeased with the effort. Like I said, it just didn't work out for the Hawks for most of these games. Now, with that being said, that's still pretty unacceptable. This team has to find a way to score, to complement the great goaltending they've had. They just need to find a way. If they want to make a run to the playoffs, they got to get better, especially on the power play. They got to take advantage of that. Once again, 0-for in this game. I mean, what else can you really ask from Crawford or Forsberg? You can't ask anything more. Panic got dropped down to the 4th line in this game. Hayden brought up to the 1st. It didn't seem to really make a whole lot of difference. It makes sense for that move because Panic's play style is a little bit more physical, so he kind of fits into that 4th line role a bit. So I'm not too mad about that, even though our 4th line with Hayden, Wingels, and Boma has been gelling really well. I thought it kind of continued with Panic's play style. One thing I was pretty confused about, though, perplexed, if you will, during this stretch of games, we knew we had a lot of games in a short amount of days, and we did not utilize Carroll or Osterley or Kempney, who are just sitting being healthy scratches. I don't know why we don't utilize them and try and keep fresh legs out there. They've been sitting for a long time, and it's not like we're undefeated with them on the bench or in the press box. I don't see what the harm would be in getting those guys out there and giving some sort of rest to the lineup that we currently have. That really kind of confused me, and I'm not sure what Coach Q's thinking was on that. Now, this team has been very healthy for the most part, so there hasn't been a whole lot of reason in that department to play those guys, but still, if you're not going to use them even every once in a while, what's the point of even having them there? I know it's kind of tough because we can't really send Osterley down because he would have to pass waivers, and he's probably not going to pass waivers. To bring up Hinostroza, I don't really know why or where he'd fit in. Hinostroza has been lighting it up in the AHL, but I don't know if there's really room here right now. And like I said, we'd have to send someone down, and guys who wouldn't have to pass waivers would be Schmaltz and DeBrincat, and we're not going to send those guys down. So kind of in a little bit of a pickle with that situation. Now, with that said, we can take a little bit of a breath and realize that there's some good news. Good news being that this was the last of the 5 games in 7 days. No more of that. This team will get some rest now, a couple days off. Maybe practice, shore some things up, get some things rejuvenated. And we're not even through halfway of the season. We're not even into January. There's a lot of hockey left to be played, and this division is very much jumbled up. A lot of things can change. We could go on a big run and all of a sudden be sitting in second or first place in the division. I mean, remember last year when the Wild won a crap ton of games in a row? Hawks could do that. Any team really could do that. They just get on a roll. Also, remember another Central Division team that barely even squeaked into the playoffs. They made a nice little run. A team called the Nashville Predators. I guess what I'm saying is, even though we're on a 4-game losing streak, it hasn't looked pretty as of late, there's not any reason to be completely doom and gloom right now. There's a lot of hockey left to be played. A lot of good things can still happen. I still believe in this team. I think we still have a quality team. They're just not putting it all together and just not capitalizing on all their chances that they're getting. I still believe in this team, and I hope you do too. Actually, let me know in the comments if you do or not. I won't judge you. Be honest. Personally, though, I believe. I still believe. Thanks for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the game and the team's performance down in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe. I appreciate it if you do. But most importantly, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.